Welcome to Strictly Salina. I am your host, Ann Knowles. Strictly Salina is a program that gives you, the viewer, a lot of information about what goes on in our community. We work with for-profit organizations, non-profit organizations, some businesses, things that are going on for your education, your support, that helps support you as a citizen, and things that will help entertain you as well. If you would like to be a part of our effort at Community Access Television, as we make this transition, we are now called the Salina Media Connection, because we are working hard to become a community media center for all of you who watch the program. All you have to do is dial 785-823-2500, 823-2500. Today on Strictly Salina, I, as the host, am indeed grateful that we have a guest from Salina Grace. Her name is Tague-Hurde, and Kayla, you are the manager of Salina Grace.
Yes, I'm the shelter manager.
Okay. Before we go into the program, would you spend a minute or two talking to us about you and your background?
Okay. I was born and raised here in Salina. My parents had Tags Auto Service for over 30 years.
That is an institution.
Yeah, many people from Salina know
Absolutely.
my parents. Yep. And I worked in healthcare for over 30 years. I started out working at Kenwood View Nursing Home, actually. And then I moved up to Smoky Hill Rehab and worked at the hospital and ICU for 4 years, and then did my own home health aid company when my father's health declined.
Oh,
so,
how wonderful.
Yeah, so I've always had a caring heart and been there for people. I also did foster care. I took in a young man from El Salina that my son brought home. He stayed with us for 2 years and then became a Marine. And then we took in a young lady for 2 years.
And I suspect that you still have contact with those people that you foster cared for.
Yes, I do.
You told me an interesting story before the program started about your mother, how you obviously fell into this naturally because of your mom. Tell us that little story about what she used to do.
Yes, when my mom had the shop, she would take in people, we called them throwaways, and they would come and live with us. She took in a young lady that went to high school with my youngest sister, and she lived with them for 2 years. And we had 2 young men from Marymount College. They had an Adopt the Player program for the basketball program.
Okay.
And they took in 2 of them, and they came and stayed with us for 2 years.
So the caring, giving, loving nature that you have as a person obviously helped give birth to Salina Grace.
Yes.
So tell us what Salina Grace is.
Salina Grace is a winter-only homeless shelter.
All right.
And what we do is we allow them to come in. We have a check-in time from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And they come in, they check in, they surrender their belongings, they go into a tote, their coats, their cell phones, their wallets, any money they have on them, it all goes into this tote. It gets locked. We have a security guard that pats them down, and that security guard also does a breath alcohol test, a BAC test, and they blow in there just like you would if you had a DUI or suspected DUI. As long as they blow below 0.170, then they can stay at Salina Grace. And as long as they're not a sex offender or a violent offender, because we do house men, women, and children.
And I think that's the wonderful part of it too, that you take men, women, and children. So you are taking families from time to time.
Yes.
Okay, so what would be the schedule? I come in, I put all my belongings in the locked tote. I'm okay to stay. What happens then?
Then you might get some ramen noodles.
Okay.
And we could go heat up some ramen noodles in the microwave, give you a bottle of water. They sit in a commons area, has a little table and several chairs, and they'll eat their ramen noodles and they'll talk. At 10 o'clock, we have lights out. They get their little 2-inch mat and a blanket and a pillow, and the mat goes on the floor. There are no cots. And they go in there and they sleep until 7 a.m. 7 a.m. we start the coffee. Somebody might bring in donuts, and we're out of the building by 8 a.m.
And then you clean up the area.
Yes.
And then start all over again that evening.
Right. We start all over that night.
Where is Salina Grace located?
Salina Grace is in Grand Avenue United Methodist Church at 304 West Grand.
All right. How long could I stay if I am in Salina? I have no ability to be going somewhere else. How long can I stay with Salina Grace if I need assistance at night?
Okay. That all kind of depends. We work on a referral base, and they get referrals from Ashby House, from
Okay.
Salina Rescue Mission, or the Salina Police Department or Sheriff's Department. If they are eligible to go to either Ashby House or the Rescue Mission, then the next day we strongly suggest
that they do that.
that they go there.
And you would assist them to get there?
Correct. Yep, we can. If they are banned from either one of those for any period of time, let's say 60 days, the whole 60 days they can stay at Salina Grace.
Before they go back to that shelter?
Yes, but every night that they come in, they will blow a breathalyzer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
So what's the youngest person who stayed with you?
The youngest
age?
person that we had was a 3-year-old. He came and stayed with his mother for 3 days. They had a 3-day ban from Ashby House.
All right.
And so their 3-day ban, they came and stayed with us. He was a little autistic boy, just the cutest little thing. I would sit on the floor and color with him while his mother did the check-in paperwork.
And then they were able to go back to Ashby House?
They went back to Ashby House.
Oh, I'm so glad that they got to go back too.
Yes.
And the oldest?
The oldest
client?
one was a 72-year-old male, and I believe he was also a veteran, and he stayed with us for 45 days.
Are all of your clients, that may not be the wrong person, the wrong noun, are they all referrals?
Yes.
They're all referrals.
Yeah.
You take referrals. So
If they come in and they don't have the referral, we make a phone call
okay,
to either Ashby House or the Rescue Mission.
okay. So you'll help get that process started. And
Right.
is there paperwork they have to fill out with you all?
Yes, there is a check-in paperwork. That's a one-time thing.
Okay.
Unless, of course, let's say they came in December and then they didn't come back until the beginning of February or March, then I would have them redo the paperwork.
Now, the length of time that Salina Grace has been open is fairly new. It's new.
Yes, it's very new.
So tell us just some of the tell us some of the challenges and the successes during your first year.
We opened December, I believe it was December 11th of 2017. The first week we had one person every night for that first week. And what we said was if we had nobody by 9 p.m., we would close the doors.
Right.
But we never had to close the doors once. Towards the end, since it was a pilot program, we had told the neighbors March 15th would be the closing date, just to see how it went. So March 15th we closed, and by then we had provided 687 nights of shelter.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, that was to 92 individuals.
And so your maximum capacity every night when you are open is 15?
30.
30
Yeah.
people.
And the most we had was 15.
How on earth did this program get started?
That was Chad Young's idea.
Okay.
Chad Young at the Rescue Mission. He talked to, at the time, it was Brian at the Ashby House.
Right.
It's now Andy Holtberg, and Kim Brown at Smoky Hill Construction. They make up the top 3 on our board. And it was their dream to get this started.
How did they perceive the need? How did they know the need? How did they know folks who needed this kind of assistance? Had they done surveys, or just from the people who had been in the rescue mission or at Ashby House that didn't fit in all of the criteria all the time? Is that, it left that gap, and is that how they knew that the number was there?
They knew the number was there because, of course, Chad Young runs the rescue mission, and Andy Holtberg, the Ashby House, and they knew that there are 30-day, 60-day, 1-year bans from both places.
Right.
So where else do these people have to go? And it's very, very cold out. So they decided they would open up Salina Grace and provide a place for them to come in out of the cold and stay warm.
Financially, how did they get that underway?
It all came from grants and funding from the board so far.
And so the board helped fund it, and you as the manager were hired to further the grant application process.
Correct.
Are these, the grants you go after, are they local, are they state, are they federal?
These are all local.
Okay.
Yep, it is all locally funded.
And would this be through churches and foundations, and who do you apply to?
Yeah, we have applied for the Dane Hansen grant, the Smoot Foundation, trying to remember what the other one was, the CHIP Foundation through the hospital.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, and then there's a couple smaller ones through the United Way.
So do you feel like the future ability to fund the organization is there, the ability to fund it is there if people know about the program and if your grant applications are successful?
Yes.
You have a future is what I'm trying to ask.
Yes, yes, we will have a future.
So when will you start this year's program?
Tentatively mid-October.
Okay, and you'll stay open how long this year?
Till May 1st.
That will be wonderful.
That would be wonderful.
This is kind of a global question, Kayla, but how would you assess the homelessness problem in Salina? Is it huge for the size of our community? Is it what goes on in every community?
It's bigger than Salinans think.
Okay.
I've also been doing the street outreach with the rescue mission on Thursdays.
Tell us a little bit about that.
We go out 8 o'clock in the morning with sack lunches and bottles of water, and there are certain hot spots, as you will, that we stop at.
So you know that people are going to be there.
Right. And they come over and they talk to us and tell us, you know, how they're doing, if they're needing anything. Jonathan from the rescue mission will tell them, you know, come on out and see me. You can come out there and eat a free lunch out there. And some of them will go. They will go out there, they'll have their lunch. And the Salina Grace has been handing them a couple of bus passes to a couple people so that they can get back and forth.
It's just such a wonderful thing that you're doing. And I want everyone who is watching us today to understand how important it is, and if they wanted to be in touch with you to help, how do they do that?
Okay, they can call me.
Okay.
It's 785-819-5542.
All right.
And that's the Salina Grace phone number.
Okay.
Or they can come by Grand Avenue Monday through Friday from, I'd say, 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon.
All right.
And ask for me.
Kayla, the community owes you a debt of gratitude, and I'm not saying that to make you feel good. I am telling you that because we know the need is real, we know it's large, and I believe there are Salinans who would like to help you. And so you would simply, if I came out as a volunteer, you would talk to me about why I want to be there.
Right.
and you do kind of a little assessment of me as
Right.
you're visiting with me.
Right.
So I want to invite everyone in Salina who's watching this program today. Be in touch with Kayla. Be a part of Salina Grace, which enhances our community. Thank you, Kayla, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.